Good evening and welcome to game number 1 of the weekend. Back in Anaheim, taking on Fairmont during their homecoming. Gorman coming out of Dallas as a finalist, losing to the McKinney North Stars. Games this weekend, playing Fairmont, St. John Bosco, and Central Cathedral. Will be the last game tomorrow. And we'll take a quick break for the ceremonies here. All right, getting ready to kick off the first period. Kokoska net for the Gales. Kicking off the game, Creel, Jennings, Johnson, Luong, and Trent. "17 minutes on the board." Jennings in for the puck drop. Comes away in favor of Gorman. Johnson sends it down into Husky territory. Puck comes out along the near wall. Fairmont sends it across, completes the pass at the blue line, dumps it in. Trent working in the corner. Fairmont is able to maintain possession to the blue line. Shot save. Fairmont maintaining possession in the Gorman zone. Jennings working down low, back behind the goal line. Fairmont comes it up, walks it up, shot, save. Lakoska sends it back behind the net. Fairmont still with possession. Gorman needing to get a clear and a change. Creel couldn't clear. Luong on the press, back behind the goal line. Jennings into support. Creel chips it up, glove down. And Fairmont brings it back across. Gorman trying to squeeze in a change. Ice back in Gorman territory. Trent still in. Recovers, shovels it up, gets the clear. Klaus trying to bring it through, sent back the other way from center ice. Trent sends it across, glove down in the neutral zone. Poke check by Fish. Fish walks it up, sends it in off the skate, comes out to Godino. Godino shot off the stick left of net. Fish and Godino working back behind the goal line. Kept in play by Larison and sent around the boards by Klaus. Godino in the corner, out to Fish. Fish trying to send it through the center to Rubino, picked up on its way. Rubino pinches up, gets possession, wires it back down. Gorman tags up and goes back after Godino, keeping him pressed down. Kerr forces a pass, and the Huskies will send it down as they go for a change. Out to Larson, chips it around, kick back in, play. Bouncing puck out to the blue line. Huskies keep it in. Shot off the leg of Rubino. And ref in the way as Fish assists down low. Larson battling in the corner, and Fish comes in to help. Godino working along the near wall. Gorman gets the clear. Kerr and Larson on the forecheck, 2-on-1. Passes out to Larson, goal! And Larson gives the Gales a lead. 14 minutes in, or sorry, 3 minutes in, 14 minutes remaining in the first period. Feed from Kerr on a 2-on-1 opportunity. Larson joining the forecheck. Westwood, Kerr, Fitzy, Posner, and Baldy. Gales waited back out to the blue line, regroup in their territory, chip it up, sent back the other way. No icing here. Baldy out to Posner. Sends it up, bouncing through the neutral zone. Kerr with a hit center ice. Posner to Baldy. Off the boards, off Fitzy. Fairmont regroups. Westwood almost chips it in. Kerr comes in with a hit as the Huskies send it back into Gorman's zone. Davis in as Westwood goes for a change. Buck comes out. Oh, never mind. Westwood there in the neutral zone, walks it up, chips it in. Huskies. Davis pokes it out to Westwood. It's got Davis out front. Shot! Saved by the Huskies. Davis posted right out front the crease with a feed from Westwood. Puck chipped up. Westwood on the press. He's going to go in for a change. Davis forces a shot down low. That's going to be grabbed up by Lakoska for a stoppage of play. 12:53 remaining in the first period. Gorman with an early lead. Be the second time Gorman's played Fairmont. Is the last time Gales were in Anaheim. Fairmont coming away with a 2-1 lead, or sorry, 2-1 finish to win the game. Fairmont wins the face-off back to their defenseman. Shot, glove save. Another face-off coming up in Gorman territory. Trent, Luong, Davis, Tritton, and Mesa. Davis in for the face-off. Puck comes out, picked up by Trent. Cycles back around behind the net. Got room. Walks it in, dumps it in. Tritton on the forecheck. Got Mesa on the other side, just out of reach. And it comes out the other way. 2-on-1. Davis, the lone player, back behind, back checking Trent. Chipped by Davis. And Tommy Trent ties it up. Shot, save, loose out front. And not sure why they stopped play. Net looked good. They blew that a little early. Another face-off coming up in Gorman's defensive zone. Cycle back around. Jennings, Creel, Johnson, Rubino, and Larson. Larson first shift after the goal. Larson feeds it back around the other way. Rubino sends off the glass. Johnson, and denied by the Huskies. Gorman's going to try the other side. Jennings feeds it back down just out of reach, and Gorman goes on the forecheck. Creel battling for position. Jennings comes in. Creel supporting in the corner. And the Huskies bring it around the near wall. Rubino fighting for position. Johnson shot off a stick. Picked up at the faceoff dot. And the Huskies bring it along the near side. Picked up by Jennings. And Gorman back checking in their zone. Larison sends it around the boards. Huskies going to get there. Loose out front. Poke check and a huge hit by Jennings. Shot save Lakoska. And Gorman gets the clear. Creel poke checks it off. Couldn't get a hard enough shot across. And Larison regrouping back in Gorman territory. Pass out along the far wall, chipped off the boards. Fish couldn't get the clear, and it comes back to the goal line. Rubino's got a man on him. Chips it up, gets the clear. Klaus, shot just over the net, bounces loose out front. Fish comes in trying to poke check it, and the Huskies pick it up, get the clear. Godino tries to set it across, and the Huskies make it in the zone. Baldy wires it around the boards, out of reach of Klaus. It's going to get picked up by the Huskies in the neutral zone. Chipped in, no icing. Nope, they blew the icing. Looked like the winger got the stick on it. And the refs say no. The refs are never wrong. 10:38 remaining in the first period. Face-off coming up in Husky territory. Klaus, Fish, Godino, Posner, and Baldy. Fish in for the face-off. Huskies pick that one up in the near corner. Huskies able to bring it through, chip it in around Posner, and they're going to say that was another icing. Apologies for the sharp angle to the left side. The space for streaming is somewhat limited here at Rink 1 at Fivepoint Arena here at Great Park. Shot right off the face-off by Klaus, goes just wide. Fed back down low by Posner. Klaus feeds it through the slot, no one there. It's going to get picked up by Posner. Regroup to Baldy, to Posner. Chips it up to Klaus, who sends it in. Not enough. And the Huskies going to grab that in the neutral zone. Intercepted by Godino and wired in. No icing on this one as the Huskies will go for a change. Godino down at the blue line, and it was intercepted at offsides as Fairmont's going to have to come back and tag up. Baldy sends it out. Kerr dumps it in, takes a hit. And Huskies bring it through the neutral zone and send it across. No icing on this one. Trent's going to be the first one there for Gorman. Brushes him off the puck. In comes Westwood for support. Fitzy along the near side. Dumps it in. Kerr and Fitzy down low. Shot off the back of the net. Luong pinches in. Puck comes out clear through. Not enough for an icing. As Westwood will regroup back the blue line with Trent. Back out to Westwood. He's got a lane. Shot just up and over. Bouncing in the crease. And blown dead by the ref. And Gorman will bring out a fresh set of forwards. Tritton, Davis, and Mesa for a face-off in their offensive zone. Davison for the face-off, picked up by the Huskies, sent around the boards. Got a man in motion through the neutral zone. Walked in by the Huskies, shot, bouncing puck, cleared by Davis into the near corner. Puck out to Luong. Trent sends it around the boards, out to Tritton. Tritton chips it up, bouncing puck. Davis takes a hit along the far boards. Luong gives one in exchange. Trent battling for position outside the net, slams him to the boards. Stapled, more like it. Mesa bring it out along the far side, clears. Tritton, lone man, wires it in. Gorman going to go for a change. Actually, Davis staying in, try to keep him honest. Up high. Davis flushes him out. Creel on the press. And Creel steals the puck. He's got Johnson in the slot. Johnson comes in to support. Jennings with a huge hit, and Huskies couldn't maintain possession, and they send it in. Larson. Jennings sends it across just out of reach of Creel. And the Huskies chip it across. It's going to get picked up by Rubino. Pass to the neutral zone. Fairmont sends it in. And Gorman brings it off the glass. Creel looking for an exit off the boards. 7:23 remaining. Larson in the far corner off the boards. Huge hit, and they're going to call roughing on that one, which I'm a little surprised of. He had the puck. Interference actually is the call, not roughing. And looks like Creel got tied up behind the play. Number something will go in for 2 minutes. Number 5 for Fairmont. And Gorman will send out the power play unit. 7:12 remaining in the first period. Jennings, Klaus, Fish, Trent, and Godino. Fairmont gets the clear. Lukaska is going to hold it at the faceoff dot. Godino, the pass out to Klaus, makes the zone. And Fairmont gets the clear. Trent to regroup on the far side. Fish sends it in. Lars on the forecheck. Bucks down to the boards. Fairmont trying to get the clear, kept in by Godino. And Godino cycles back to slow it down. Drops it back to Jennings. Couldn't get there in time. And Fairmont with an opportunity as they will go for a line change. Fish near wall, sends it in. Fairmont picks it up, glove down by Klaus. Klaus to regroup with Trent, and he's going to get pushed back. Trent gets tripped. No call. And no one there for Gorman. Huskies on the forecheck. Poke checked out by Trent, fed back through to Creel. Creel dangles through along the near wall, takes a hit. Kerr takes a hit as well. Rubino in for Gorman as well as Westwood. About 30 seconds remaining in the power play. Rubino out to Westwood, trying to hit Rubino off the stick, and it's a foot race the other way. Rubino poke checks that one out, gives a hit. Westwood and Rubino working in the corner there, comes away with it. Westwood makes his own, chips it up to himself, tries to poke check, it's still loose. Goalie gives a elbow to Westwood. And Rubino couldn't get the send around the boards, loose up front. Lukaska with a save. And a couple jabs from Fairmont. And it looks like number 9 will replace number 5 in the box. Correction, looks like they're going to take Creel as well. Oh, never mind. Gorman's going to be on the penalty kill. Trying to get an explanation here. 1 for Fairmont, 2 for Gorman. And we'll see how they call this. Godino, center ice, looking for an explanation here. Kerr and Creel in the box. So waiting for something to go up on the boards here. Kerr will be the one with the penalty, the extra. 4:57 remaining. Gorman on the penalty kill. Godino, Baldy, Posner, and Fitzy. Puck loose, comes out to Fairmont, almost picked up by Godino. Puck out to the blue line, high in the slot, far wall, and off a skate and cleared. And Fairmont will go back to retrieve it. In their own territory, Godino flushes them out. Poke checked by Posner. Huskies send it high in the slot. Shot up and over the net. There was a window there. Puck comes out high in the slot. Opted to not drop it back. And that's going to be offsides. And it's going to come on back into the neutral zone. 4:09 remaining as they bring out fresh legs for Gorman. Jennings, Davis, Rubino, and Larison in for the penalty kill. 1:13 remaining on the PK for Gorman. Jennings in for the face-off. Huskies win it along the near wall. Wired around the boards. Jennings comes out, tries to hit Davis under the stick. Pass on to the far side. High in the slot. Shot wide. Comes out. Rubino on the press, trying to poke check it out. Comes out, tipped by Jennings. Jennings scoops up and sends it down. And defense and Davis head off. Godino, Luong, Trent, and Fitzy in for the PK. 30 seconds left. Offsides. And it's going to come on back. A little loud here this evening. Senior night or homecoming, not sure. It's a big night for Fairmont. They have balloons almost everywhere. For a rematch from the last time Gorman was out here. Fairmont coming away with a 2-1 win a few weeks ago. Luong tied up, able to get the clear. Godino keeping them pressed down at the hash marks in their own territory. And Fitzy just steals it. And we have a hooking penalty now coming up. Looks like Fitzy's going to head to the box. And there's going to be a brief 5-on-3 here with 5 seconds left. Davis as the lone forward. Trent and Luong. Huskies win it back. Nate Kerr comes out to Davis. Davis flicks it up, and it's a foot race the other way. Kerr on the forecheck. He's got Davis in motion, shot off a stick, still in play. And Gorman's gonna have to back check the other way. 5-on-4 in favor of Fairmont. Cross ice pass at the blue line, shot wide of the net. Looks like Davis hit with a high stick. Davis clipped up high at the neck. Gorman, it's gonna be a little bit of 4-on-4. All right. Minute 33 on the one penalty, 2 minutes fresh for Fairmont, and we're gonna play a little 4-on-4. Kerr and Westwood. Baldy and Posner. Puck dumped in, it's gonna get scooped up by Kerr at the goal line. Chipped up to Jennings. Sorry, not Jennings, Westwood. Westwood, 1-on-1. 1-on-2, dangles through. and sent us aside by the Huskies. Pass out to the blue line, forced back the other way, missed connection there, and Baldy's going to wire it in just over the net. 53 seconds left on the hook penalty for Gorman. Walks it up, fed through, shot, save, Lakoska. Tracking that one the whole way through. And he keeps it a 1-0 game. .39 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Face-off coming up, Fish, Rubino, Godino, and Larison. Puck comes out to the Huskies. Larison on the forecheck. Gets tied up, sends it out to Godino. Almost had an opportunity there. And the Huskies send it in. That's going to be an icing, though. And we're going to move on over to the left for a face-off outside Husky net. Godino in for the face-off. And Godino waved off. Picked up by the Huskies. Sent around the boards, Fish with a hit. Larison ties him up along the far wall. 1 second, all right, Fitzy out. He's gonna head over to the bench. Klaus comes in. Now he's in. Godino makes the line, sends it across just over the stick of Klaus. Trent, fresh off the bench at the faceoff dot. Shot short side, save by Fairmont. Cycled back down low. Godino dropped back at the blue line. Shot by Trent. He walked it right up, denied. As we come out to the end of the period here, 5-on-5. Godino sends it across, denied. Trent drops it back. Godino brings it in. 19 seconds. And Fairmont has an opportunity the other way. 2-on-1. Luong and Jennings. Shot. Comes out loose in the faceoff dot. Shot, save, Lakoska covers with about 7 seconds left in the first period. All right, face off in Gorman's zone, 7 seconds to close out the period. And Baldy pins it down along the corner, loose, and that'll close out the first period. There will be an ice cut between the second and third period. Shots on goal, 9-3 in favor of Fairmont. Gorman scoring 1 off 3 shots. All right. Getting ready to kick off the second period. Jennings in for the faceoff. Johnson, Creel, Posner, and Baldy. Puck comes out in favor of the Huskies. And Huskies feed it down low. Not enough for an icing. Jennings on the back check, ties him up. Still loose at the goal line, fed through and kept in play. Shot up and over the net. Shot. Save off the blocker of Lakoska. Loose out front, walk through, wide of the net. Gorman needing to get it clear out of their zone. Puck sent around the boards to the near wall. Gorman pinned in their zone here. Feed it across right outside the crease. And Posner's going to send a bouncing puck through the zone here. Not enough for an icing. Creel lays a hit. Johnson cycling through, feeds it across, and Huskies are going to pick that one up along the far wall, bring it back the other way. Rubino and Larison now on defense. Klaska comes out. Puck pinned along the near wall here. Larison's going to regroup with Rubino. He's got a little bit of room. Chips it through. No icing. As Fairmont brings it back the other way. Gorman gets a change in. Fitzy on the press. Kerr and Westwood. Broken stick. And Huskies get the clear. Too many. And Gorman's going to have another power play. Too many men as the player fresh out the box, off the bench, played the puck as the other one was returning. I'll give you a little bit of time there, but as soon as that player plays the puck, that's where you got a problem. So Gorman on the power play. Number 23 will head to the box for Fairmont. Creel, Westwood, Kerr, Fitzy, and Trent. Fitzy in for the faceoff. Yep, they're going to wave off Fairmont. Little too much caffeine. He was ready to jump. And Fairmont wins that one, sends it on the boards just behind Trent, and Gorman's going to have to go retrieve it in their zone. Trent out to Westwood along the far wall, through the neutral zone. He's got some room, walks it up, cycles back. He's got a man on him. Kerr comes in for support. Drops it back to Westwood. Fitzy lobs it up in the air. Kerr drops it back. He's got Creel posted out front at bumper. Out to Trent. Trent's going to cycle around along the near wall. Shot, tip, loose out front. Fitzy, it's still loose. And they're going to say it's dead. With about 1:11 remaining. Fitzy battling for position in front of the crease and checked into the side of the net. Took a little exception to that, and Gorman's going to bring out the next unit. Jennings, Fish, Godino, Trent, and Jennings, and Klaus, sorry. All right, face-off coming up in Fairmont territory. Gorman had it, left it for the Huskies. Huskies are going to walk it in, send it out front. Brushed aside by Lakoska. Fish on the forecheck the other way. Trying to hit Klaus in motion. Glove down. Sent back down low by Fish. Up to Trent. Back out to Jennings. Fish along the near wall. Couldn't field it cleanly. Jennings comes in to support. Whoops. There we go. Jennings back behind the net. Trying to slow this one down. 36 seconds left. Out to Fish along the near wall. Shot loose in the slot. Huskies pick that one up. Chip it, and they'll send it. No icing during the penalty kill. Gorman has about 20 seconds remaining to make something happen. Trent blocks it up. Cycles it back down low to Klaus. Klaus feeds it back down low. Godino's tied up. Fish able to regroup with the net. And back to 5-on-5 play. Rubino's got a man on him. Stretch pass chipped in by Klaus. Davis on the forecheck. Feeds it out to Godino. Back out to Davis. To Rubino. Shot off the blocker. Comes out to Godino. Still on the ice. Trying to get a change in the second period. Feeds out to Davis. Tied up in the slot. And kicked back in by Rubino. Fed back down low over the stick of Davis. Davis battling down low. Gets tripped up. Comes out. Fitzy comes in. Huskies bring it back the other way. Shot loose, fed out the other way. Rubino ties up an opportunity. Fitzy brings it across the line. He's got Westwood with him, drops it back. Larson. And that one clears the zone. Fitzy flushes him out from behind the net. Gorman sends it in. He's going to have to tag up. And they go back on the forecheck. Chipped in. And the Huskies make it into Gorman territory. Baldy battles and wins it. Gorman brings it out on the near wall. Chips it up to himself. Takes a hit. And he's going to wire it down for an icing. Strong rebound by Gorman there in the last few minutes. Starting out the period a little slow, pinned in their zone. .31 remaining. Face off. Comes out in favor of the Huskies. And the Huskies bring it back the other way, chip it in. Bouncing puck through the neutral zone as Jennings goes on the forecheck. Chipped in by Jennings. He's going to go on the forecheck. He's got Johnson with him. And that's going to get covered. And it's a party in the net. New lineup for Gorman: Tritton, Mesa, Westwood, Luong, and Trent. Five on five. Westwood in for the faceoff. Give the goalie a minute. Helmet came off at the end of the last sequence. Huskies win that one in their defensive zone and bring it out. Chipped by Trent. It's going to prevent an icing. Lone defenseman cycles it back to himself. Huskies come away with it. Westwood gets tied up, clears it, tries to hit Tritton in motion. Shot goes wide. Mesa battling down low, gives a hit in the corner. Cross ice pass along the blue line. Shot. Save Lakoska. 10:21 remaining in the second period. Gorman with a 1-0 lead as they send out fresh legs for the face-off in Gorman's defensive zone. All right. Fish in for the puck drop. Huskies pick that one up high in the slot, near corner, as they're trying to work low to high. And Gorman gets the clear. Waved off. Nope, they're going to. A lot of confusion. So kind of what happens when you have 4 refs is maybe too many opinions. Someone asked icing, the other one said no, tipped, and then the other one said nope, icing, and here we are with another faceoff back in Gorman's defensive zone. Fish wins that one back for Gorman. Godino chips it up to himself in the neutral zone, battling for position. Klaus comes in, gives a hit, and Fairmont's going to bring it back the other way. Larson on the back check. Fed through. Gorman. Godino on the back check, drops down, stick in play to prevent the pass. And they're going to say that was offsides. Huge effort. By Godino on the back check there to prevent the pass. 9:39 remaining in the second period. There will be an ice cut between the second and third. Westwood, Kerr, Fitzy, Posner, and Baldy off the leg of Posner. Fitzy sends it out to Kerr along center, chips it up to Westwood. Almost had a 1-on-0 opportunity. And Gorman cycles it back down and feeds it into Husky territory. And Huskies bring it back. Kerr drops back. It's going to get picked up by by Baldy. Chipped off the glass and cleared. Not enough for an icing, though. Chipped in by Gorman. They're going to go for a change. Cycle along the boards. Creel comes in, gives a hit. Luong working along the far wall, kept in play by Creel, feeds it up off the legs. And it'll come out to Cash Johnson. Almost picked off on his way to Trent. Gorman shovels it down into the other end. And that is on net. Trent sends it out to Creel, chips it, kept in by Jennings, walks it up. Brings it out wide. He's got a man on him. Jennings battling with Cash Johnson in the support. Jennings comes away with it. Cycles it back to Johnson. Johnson's got a little bit of room. He's got a man on him now. Creel back behind him. Out to Creel. Feeds it through. Shot. Goal! Slap shot from essentially the goal line. Cash Johnson makes it a 2-0 game. That was a sharp angle. Looked like it hit the side, but that's going to be good to give him the 2-0 lead. Faceoff coming up, center ice. Davison for the faceoff, wins it back to Rubino, chips it up to Mesa. Brings it in the zone. And Rubino's going to regroup at the blue line with Larson. Larson dump in, comes out. Mesa out to Tritton. Tritton pickpocketed. Davis kicks back up once, twice. Davis brings it back behind the net. Sends it through the crease. No one there. And Huskies bring it back the other way. Tritton on the back check. Forces him off the puck. Davis working down in the corner, takes a hit. Working with Rubino. Rubino almost comes away with it. Poke checked off. Huskies bring it back the other way. Puck comes out to Davis. Davis takes a hit, sends it on the board, gets intercepted at the hash mark, cycled back through. Walked up, shot, off the blocker, save. Davis just clears it. That'll be an icing. But Gorman will get a change in the second period, a critical change after getting pinned in their zone. Fish in for the faceoffs. Got Klaus and Godino, Posner and Baldy. Shot, goal. Shot off of the faceoff. And that'll close it to a 2-1 lead for Gorman. Change up for the face-off. Puck comes out to Fitzy. Posner, Baldy. Off the boards of Kerr. Kerr gets tied up trying to chip it in. And the Huskies bring it back the other way. Dangles through. And puck off the side of the net. Posner chips it up. Fitzy gets the chip out. And Westwood almost picked up by Kerr. Through the neutral zone. The Huskies make the zone shot. Glove save and covered. Extra little poke by Fairmont at the end of that one. Some exceptions taken. Numbers jotted down mentally. All right, 6:04 remaining in the second period. Ice cut coming up at the end. Westwood in for the faceoff, wins it back to Luong, chips it up. Fitzy up and into the Husky bench as almost a 2-on-1, maybe a 2-on-2 opportunity there. Now he's going to come on back for a faceoff to the left of Lukoska, or Lukoska's left. Comes out in favor of Fairmont. Fairmont sends it back down low around the boards. Trent comes in, chipped out. Gorman gets the clear. Westwood along the near wall, feeds it up, lost an edge. And the Huskies gonna bring it through. Make the zone. Luong comes in, gets a stick in there. Battling. Westwood there to support. Chipped up. Kerr trying to get the clear. He does. Creel on the forecheck. Couldn't get there. It's going to get wired in. Gorman's going to have to tag up. And we'll go for a partial change. Larson sends it back the other way. Jennings brings it across. Creel sends it through. And Huskies reverse it and send it into Gorman's zone. Rubino chips along the near wall. Fairmont getting a partial change in. Chipped out to Larson, up at forward. And they're going to say offsides there. Mesa, Davis, Tritton, Rubino, and Larson. Neutral zone, face-off. Davison for the puck drop. Comes out in favor of the Huskies. Sorry, Mesa in for the face-off. Mesa comes in, battles. Out to Rubino, chipped around. Larson's going to come in to support. Clareson cycles it back to Rubino. Off a bad bounce. Save Lakoska. Shot save again and loose. They're going to blow it dead. Gorman sends it around the boards, hits a bad bounce off the divider right into the slot. And as always, a player there in wait. .417 remaining. Gorman trying to get out of their territory here. Fresh legs. Klaus in for the faceoff. Wins it back right through the slot. Godino sends it up high, bouncing puck. And they're going to say icing. Fish, Godino, Klaus, Posner, and Baldy. Godino wins it out to the far wall. Posner takes some time, bringing it back behind the net. Out to Klaus. Makes the line, makes the zone. Drops it back. Godino had a man on him. High stick, waved off. Loose out front. Fish not able to get a shot off. Picked up by Klaus. Shot. Glove save. Westwood, Fitzy, Kerr, Trent, and Luong. And they're going to wave off Fairmont. Fairmont wins it out. Along the near wall, they got a man deep. Stretch pass. Couldn't make the initial connection, but player gets it in, and that'll be glove save for Lakoska. That was a set piece play there. The man deep at the Gorman line. And Gorman back in their own zone for another faceoff. Shots on goal 17-9 in favor of Fairmont. Westwood in for the puck drop. Wins it back. Trent's going to lob it through. Kept in play, high in the slot. Shot off the pad, loose. Back out to the blue line. Shot off a body, goes wide. Follow-up shot. Couldn't connect. And Gorman's going to send around the boards. That's going to have enough mustard on it to clear. And they're going to have to regroup back in their zone. Johnson in for Fish. Lost the stick. That is offsides with 2:59 remaining. Face off coming up in the neutral zone. Huskies come away with it. Nope. Comes out to Creel at the blue line. Chips off the boards. That will be an icing though. Tipped up. Nope. They're going to let that one go. Jennings takes a hit twice behind the net into the boards. And Huskies bring it out 3-on-2 the other way. Back checking Jennings. Rubino on the press. Chipped. And save Lakoska. Rubino sends it around the boards, gives a hit in the process. Jennings chips it up. Gorman a little tired to close out the period here. Puck comes out. Tipped by Rubino. Player cycled back. A little over 2 minutes remaining. And they're going to call player here for some shenanigans. see who is having a party in the box. Looks like number 37. Number 37 from Fairmont's going to head to the box. Holding was the call. 2:10 remaining. That'll just about close out the period. Creel, Klaus, Fish, Godino, and Trent for the power play. Puck comes out back behind the net. Cycled back by the Huskies. Klaus in pursuit, and that's going to get cleared and sent back the other way. Trent regroups back behind Gorman net. Godino makes his own, got a man on him, loose at the feet, picked up by the Huskies and wired back the other way. Godino got a man on, bouncing puck, comes out to Trent. Out to Klaus. Klaus got a man on him. Tries to drop it back. He does. Creel feeds the blue line. Trent in the slot. Shot off a body. And Huskies send it out. Strong forecheck from the Huskies for position on the puck as they get a change in. Gorman's pinned in their own zone on the power play. Minute left in the period, about 45 seconds left on the power play for Gorman. No shots on goal yet. Trent gets tied up, brings it in, dangles through. Fairmont picks it up, kept in play by Gorman. Creel on the forecheck. Get the clear, and it's a foot race the other way. Shot off the blocker, save Lakoska. 17 seconds remaining, and we have a penalty coming up on on Gorman. Nope, it's on Fairmont. Not sure. Lots of players are touching the puck here. And they didn't blow it dead when both teams touched it. Will be on Fairmont. Number 91 will head to the box. Gorman will have a 5-on-3 opportunity for about 4 seconds. 13.8 remaining in the period. Loose, and they get the clear. All right, well, we'll get the scoreboard set back up. About 1:47 is what's left on the clock for a power play when we kick off the third period. As a reminder, we will be heading in for an ice cut, and we'll see you in a few minutes. About another minute, we'll kick off the third period. Gorman leading 2-1 after the second. Shots on goal 19-10 in favor of the Gales. There will be 2 more games this weekend, both of which will be here on this channel. Game tomorrow morning, 10:45 a.m. Pacific time. Gorman with a rematch against Pacific Ridge. Pacific Ridge with a 5-4 win during the initial week at the kickoff the season. And then Gorman will be taking on the Central Cathedral Jets at 5:50 p.m. tomorrow night. There's another rematch where Gorman came away with a 3-1 win last time. Gorman going to start out the third period with a fresh sheet of ice and 1:47 on the clock for a power play. Power play unit on the ice. Trent as the lone defenseman. Godino on to his left. Klaus, Fish, and Creel round out the power play unit. Klaus drops it back to Trent. Pass up to Fish along the near wall. Sends it in the zone. Stuffed off the ref. Back in, and they're going to wire it down. Koska back by himself. No one there to support him. Pass comes out to Klaus, takes a hit along the boards, and bounces out to Trent. Trent, Creel chips it in to Fish. Klaus comes in to support, out to Fish, loose out front. Gorman cannot connect. Godino with a shot off a leg. Gorman able to keep it in. There's going to be a penalty there on Fairmont. Godino keeps it in possession, sends it around the boards. Koska heads to the bench. Gorman's going to have another option here. Another power play. Out to Godino, shot off a leg, still in play. Back out to Westwood. Godino at the blue line, sends it across, still maintains possession. Delayed penalty for Gorman. Loose at the feet, and that'll wrap it up. First stoppage of play. And we'll see how they handle this one. And how they call it. Looks like number 71 heading to the box. Five on three for 29 seconds. Comes out in favor of the Huskies. Huskies send it across, tipped by Trent at the blue line. It's going to come all the way to Koska. Gorman with only 20 seconds left on the 5 on 3. Trent walks it up through the neutral zone. That is offsides. 12 seconds remaining. And 1:44 on the second penalty. Face-off coming up in the neutral zone. Westwood in for the puck drop. Wins it back. Comes out to Kerr. Kerr battles through. Comes out to Jennings. Jennings unable to get a shot off. Sends it back around. And we are 5 on 4. Out to Trent high in the slot. Shot. Glove save. Had clear vision on that one to the net. Not a lot of traffic out front. And Gorman will send out the next power play unit. 1:29 remaining on the remaining penalty. Gorman with a 5-4 advantage. Puck comes out in favor of Gorman. Rubino chips around the boards. Kerr battling in the corner, sends it across. Comes out to Klaus, sends it around the boards. No one there. Not enough to Godino. Shot off the blocker. Creel tries tying him up, and they get the clear. Koska leaves it behind for Godino. Fresh legs as Fish comes out for Gorman. Fish along the near wall. Poke checked off a stick and sent back the other way. Godino drops it back. Creel fights for position, brings it in the zone, chipped back, comes out to Fish. Godino at the blue line, shot. Looking to Creel to tip it in, just out of reach. Godino high in the slot, opts to walk it up, shot. Off the blocker, goes out along the far wall. Fish gives a hit, shot still in play. And Huskies pick that one up with 5 seconds left. That'll just about do it as Posner, lone man, back at the blue line. And we are back to 5-on-5. Stretch pass picked up by the Huskies. Picked up by Klaus to Godino, feeds it through to Creel, couldn't connect. And it's foot race. Westwood is there, and they're gonna say offsides. They said Westwood had a step on it. Face-off coming up in the neutral zone. 13:30 remaining in the third period. Westwood in for the face-off. Fitzy on press with Kerr. Bouncing puck, glove down by Larson. Drop back to Westwood, sent in. He's on the forecheck. Chips it up to himself. Huskies send it around along the near wall. Kept in play by Rubino. Feeds it back down low to Fitzy. Takes a hit along the boards. And it's back check the other way. Kerr in a foot race. Dingles through. Larson comes in, ties him up. Puck out along the far corner. Rubino pulls it off. Leaves it for Fitzy. Fitzy on the forecheck the other way. He's going to send it in the zone. Outside of the reach of the goalie. Gorman's going to squeeze in a change here. Intercepted by Cass Johnson. And back through the neutral zone. Baldy working outside the Gorman bench. Cass Johnson off the boards. Chipped in by Westwood. No icing. Klaus comes in. Gorman chips it up at the feet of Klaus. Takes a hit. Right outside the Gorman bench. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Cass Johnson battles through. Huskies win it and send it in. That's going to be an icing. And the refs are never wrong. Face-off coming up in Husky territory. Bosner, Baldy, Davis, Tritton, and Mesa. Davison for the face-off. Picked up by Tritton, shot off a stick just over the net. Mesa comes in, keeps him off the puck. Tritton chips it up. Huskies bring it back 2-on-2 the other way. Baldy working, puck sent in. Shot, save, Lakoska. Picked up by Mesa. Mesa takes a hit in the corner. Davis comes in to support, frees it up. Baldy. Davis sends it back, comes out to Baldy. Baldy chips it up to Mesa, trying to hit Davis. And it gets picked up by the Huskies in the neutral zone. Sent around the boards, out to Davis. Gives a hit, feeds it through, regrouped at the hash marks. And Gorman gets in a change. Davis comes in, chips it through the zone, feeds it back down low. And Godino goes on the forecheck. Stretch pass, that is a nice. No one home. With 11:02 remaining. Face off, Fish. Gorman comes away with it. Godino press back behind the net, feeds it out. Trent shot off the pads. No one there for Gorman to pick up the loose puck. And the Huskies bring it back the other way. Chipped in, tie up their own player, and Trent's going to feed it back to Luong. Off the glass, off the stick of Godino, but that will be an icing as he was about one stride short of the line. .10:37 remaining. Face off in Gorman territory. Comes out to Rubino, chips it up. Cleared with a tap by Kerr. Huskies pick that up at their blue line, walking back into Gorman zone. Shot up and over the net, just over the shoulder. Shot tipped by Westwood. Westwood's got a man on him. Hooked. And Gorman's going to go on the power play again as Westwood was hooked, traversing through the neutral zone as number 20 will head to the box. Give Gorman a 5-4 power play. Fish, Creel, Klaus, Godino, and Trent. Apologies for down in front. Comes out, Gorman out to Godino. Shot just over the pad. Creel feeds it out to the near wall. Godino chips it up, sends it over to Klaus. Klaus got a man on him. Godino comes in to support at the hash marks. Out to Trent. Trent, Westwood, nope, Fish, shot, loose. Still loose. And Creel cross-checked it out in front. Shot off the glove. And Trent, stretch pass out to Klaus. Feeds it out to Westwood. Shot goes off. Westwood sends it off a body. And it clears the zone. Fitzy, lone man for Gorman. Come back. He's got Rubino with him. Pass out to Westwood. Drops it back for Rubino. Rubino on the rush. He's got Kerr with him. Kerr with an assist earlier in the game. Feed out to Westwood, just out of reach. As Westwood takes a hit along the far boards. He's got room. Shot off a body. Loose out front. Still in play. Kerr on his knees trying to get a shot off. And Gorman's going to regroup. 35 seconds left on the Gorman power play. Rubino drops it off for Westwood. Kerr, shot, loose, and covered, and goalie gets in. .840. See what's going to happen here. Some conversation center ice with the refs. A lot of conversations during the ice cut between the Fairmont bench and the referees in the absence of the Gorman coaches. Sorry, Fairmont coaches and the refs having a long chit chat, handshaking in absence of the Gorman coaches. Somewhat atypical. All right, we're going to fix the clock here. 25 seconds is what the board says. 8:40 remaining. No additional penalties on the shenanigans. But we're going to bring this one out to the neutral zone. Fish in for the faceoff. Huskies win it, chip it out. Off the feet of Trent, had to chip it out through the neutral zone. Gorman struggling to maintain possession here At the end of the power play, Trent, stretch pass out to Klaus, chips it in just enough though that Huskies picked it up. 3 seconds left. Shot goes wide, left back for the goalie. And we are back to 5-on-5 play. And down one defenseman, Godino in at the blue line. And they're going to say that was offsides. And Gorman will go and tag up, get a change in as well. Puck flutters through, still in play. Baldy. Klaus, Godino. Overshoots, couldn't send it in. It's gonna get picked up by Baldy. Baldy walks it in the zone. He's got a man on him. Scooped up by the Huskies, and they bring it back the other way. Goal. And Fairmont ties the game. All right, tie game. And they're gonna stop that one. We're gonna do another face-off here. And they're gonna wave off Fairmont. 2-2 game, shots on goal, 22-15 in favor of Fairmont Huskies. Huskies pick that one up, chip it off the glass. Luong poke checks it out. Trent. Out to Luong. And that's going to be an icing. Waved off. Arms go up, arms go down. They're going to call that one an icing. It doesn't have enough on. It's going to get brushed aside. Luong's got a man on him. And Tommy Trent brings it through the neutral zone. Rubino comes in at the blue line. He's got Creel back at the point. Trent high in the slot. Brings out the face-off dot. Shot. Loose. And goalie able to cover for a stoppage of play. Three, four, five. Not sure what's happening here. We have a penalty. Not sure what's happening here. Not putting it on the board. Must have had a few words with the ref. He's going to take a little timeout. And we're still going to play 5-on-5. Five-on-five, player in the box for Fairmont. Gorman's going to regroup back behind their net. AJ chips it up to Fitzy, fights it in. Westwood and Kerr back behind the goal line. Got Fitzy posted out front. Westwood comes away with it. Back out to Rubino, just out of reach, and Gorman's going to have to regroup. Got Larison there to support. Huskies pick that one up and send it in. Shot, save. Off the skate of Larison. Westwood brings it across, walks it up. Tries stuffing it short side. Save by Fairmont. Shot off a shin, goes wide out to the near wall. Stretch pass off the skate of Baldy. Baldy's got a window. Walks it in. Shot off a body skate. Loose. Almost picked up by Gorman in the crease. It's going to bounce all the way out to Posner to Godino. Westwood. Baldy couldn't connect. Godino walks it in, feeds it across to Westwood. Trying to hit Godino, and it gets intercepted by the Huskies. Shot loose through the crease. No one there for Gorman. And the Huskies, the shot the other way off a stick. Tipped by Gorman. They're saying it's still a live puck. Puck comes out to Klaus. Klaus chips it in. Feeds it across. Gonna get picked up by Godino back in the near corner. Sends it out just out of reach of Klaus, and Huskies are gonna bring it back the other way. Poke checked by Fish at the blue line. Klaus wires it in. He's gonna go for a change. Fish comes up, pick up the loose puck. Feeds it through. Huskies bring it through. Creel presses him off the puck. Trent comes in, chipped it, saved by Lakoska. Creel sends it, couldn't clear. Huskies turn it back around. Creel with a monster hit. And Trent's gonna slow it down back behind his net with 3:36 remaining. Stretch pass out to Creel. Picked up by the Huskies, and that is an icing. And it's gonna come on back the other way. And looks like we're gonna have a timeout. Timeout, Bishop Gorman. All right. Westwood, Kerr, Fitzy, Luong, and Trent. Puck comes out in favor of the Huskies. Shot, Fitzy looking for the top left corner, goes wide. Westwood dingles through. Out to Trent. Trent shot, tipped. And wired around the boards. Out of reach of Luong. It's foot race the other way. Waved off, no icing. Luong drops back to Trent. Trent. And they're gonna call that icing. And it's gonna come on back in Gorman territory. 2:55 remaining in the third. Fish, Baldy, Larison, Creel, and Godino. Puck comes out to Baldy. Baldy's got a man on him, comes out loose, out front of the net. Puck checked out by Fish. Creel couldn't get the forecheck either, and the Huskies are going to regroup. Gorman is going to be on a PK to close out the game. Not sure what the call is yet, as we're still on a delayed penalty here. And 2:24 remaining. Elbowing is where they're calling. Looks like they're going to send Creel to the box. 22 seconds remaining. PK coming up. Fitzy, Jennings, Luong, and Trent. And timeout for Fairmont. .224 remaining in the third. Gorman with a 2-minute penalty. All right, Westwood, Fitzy, Trent, and Luong. Westwood in for the face-off, wins it back for Gorman. Bouncing puck through the neutral zone. Fitzy on the forecheck. And Huskies bring it out. Pass along the near wall. Take the zone, dangle through, chip down low. Interrupted by Gorman. That's going to come out to Trent. Trent bouncing puck through. Westwood down low. In comes Kerr. Westwood picks that one up along the wall. He's got Kerr out there with him. Kerr's going to work up high as Westwood heads to the bench. In comes Godino as Huskies bring it through the neutral zone. Lobs into the far corner. It's going to get picked up by Larison. Out to Rubino. Rubino working in the corner, trying to feed Kerr. Picked up by the Huskies. High in the slot, shot, tipped, goes wide. Shot off the crossbar. Pass along the blue line, still in play, comes out to Larison. Larison chips it up. Has Godino in motion, one-on-one the other way. Stretch pass. In comes Westwood for Godino. 35 seconds left. 7 seconds left on the penalty kill for Gorman. And Gorman's back to full strength. Picked up, and it comes out to Westwood. 1-2 the other way, Fitzy on the back check, shot. Glove save. with 11.3 seconds remaining in the period. And this one may go into overtime. Gorman trying to get good look off the face-off. Klaus wins it back. Couldn't get to Fitzy. And Huskies bring it back the other way. Trent chips it off the boards, bouncing off the stick of Westwood, and that'll wrap up. That'll wrap up the third. We will go to overtime. All right, 5-minute overtime coming up. Looks like the lone Fairmont player came out of the box. Looks like a 10-minute misconduct. Probably exchanged some less than nice words with the ref. 4-on-4 coming up. Godino, Trent, Westwood, and Fish. Gorman playing 3 forwards, 1D. 5 minutes on the board. Shots on goal, 24-18 at the end of regulation in favor of Fairmont. Westwood in for the faceoff. Puck comes out to Huskies. Westwood on the press. Westwood drop stick, make sure it doesn't get a hooking call. Huskies pick it up behind the Gorman net. Cycle back down. Fish into support. Huskies still with possession at the faceoff dot. Send it across, couldn't connect. At the hash mark. Cycle back down. Shot up and over. Gorman still struggling to get out of the zone. They'll send it around. Fish along the near wall. He's got a man on him. Cycles back. Westwood along the near boards. Godino goes in for a change. Shot loose up front. Fitzy comes in for Fish. Creel for Westwood. And Larison at defense. And Huskies get possession. Stretch pass. And that's going to be an icing. It's going to come on back into Husky territory for a face-off. 3:32. Oh, sorry, this is running clock. That's why the math's not mathing. Creel in for the face-off. Loose at his feet. Huskies pick that one up. Bring it back the other way. If this doesn't end here, we'll go to shootout. Creel and Fitzy. And that is a tripping call. Gorman's going to be on the penalty kill for the closeout of overtime. Comes out. Gorman picks it up. And we'll try to time this up here. 2:25 and counting, 2 minutes on the board. They will have an extra attacker, 5-on-4, to close this one out. Oh, no, we're going to go 4-on-3. Four-on-3 for the Huskies. Shot short side, save Lakoska. No stoppage of the clock. Gorman gets the clear. Godino is the lone forward. Rubino and Trent on defense. Rubino presses him back behind the goal. Trent scoops that one up. Couldn't get the clear. Trying to hit Godino on the rush. High in the slot. Godino picks that one up. He escorts it out. As Creel comes in, replace Godino. Minute left. Shot. Off the stick, goes wide into the near corner. Shot off the shoulder, out of play. Clock will run. And that'll just about close out overtime. .23 seconds left. Take their sweet time. Creel into the face-off. Larison picks that up, wires it down. 14 seconds left in overtime. And Gorman needing to hold strong in the last few seconds of overtime. Bring it through. Fitzy in, shot. Looking for the top left corner. That'll wrap up overtime. And we're going to try something new here. We're going to go to shootout. All right, here we go. Lakoska in net for Gorman. Fairmont's going to kick off. Fairmont makes their first. Fitzy in for Gorman. Will take the first attempt. Can't see. Save. Sorry about that. Fitzy, there's a save on his shot. Second shot for Fairmont. Save, Lakoska. Westwood in for Gorman will take the second attempt. Goal, no. Not sure what that hit. And they're going to say a miss. Fairmont 1 for 2, Gorman 0 for 2. And this may be the last round as Fairmont goes for the third attempt. Goal. That'll wrap it up for Gorman for Friday evening as Fairmont comes back to win on a very important game for that team. Final score 3-2, game 1 of the weekend. As a reminder, we have more games coming up, 2 tomorrow, and that'll close out the weekend. Gorman will be taking on Pacific Ridge and Central Cathedral. Those games will be tomorrow morning, 10:45 a.m. for the Pacific Ridge game. That'll be over the Anaheim Ice rink. That time is Pacific time. And the late game tomorrow, Central Cathedral at 5:50 p.m. Pacific time at the Great Park Ice and Fivepoint Arena. Will be the one just behind us here. And that'll wrap it up for this evening. As always, appreciate watching this broadcast, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.